My ex-GF 25 female cheated on me 26 male with a student of mine 18 male. After I broke up and asked my money back, she played the victim and turned my friends and family against me. How can I deal? I'm not sure where to begin or how to proceed with this. I'm all alone and lonely, and I'm at the end of my rope, to put it mildly. Sorry for the huge wall of writing, I'm in desperate need of counsel, and I don't have anyone to turn to for assistance. So, this is how the events transpired, to summarize. On Sunday, I spent the day at her house. I needed to check my email, so I borrowed her laptop to do so. When I opened Gmail, her account had already been signed into mine. A Hangouts notification from one of my pupils comes in just as I'm about to log out of my computer. I am an assistant professor at the local university. After being intrigued, I looked into what they were doing and discovered that they were not only were they each other, but they were also berating me. They had set a date for the following day at 7 p.m. at a park that was a few hours away from our home. I stormed out of the room, smashing the laptop shut. I believe she assumed I was aware of something because I received a flurry of paranoid text messages from her throughout the day. When I returned home, I realized what a fool I'd been for not collecting any proof while I was away. I was only going to come to regret it much more after that. As a result, the following morning, I drove to the park by 7 a.m. A part of me wished that none of this were real at all. However, when I arrived, I noticed her car, which happens to be mine, parked nearby. As I passed by the car, my girlfriend and the student were kissing and making out. The moment I knocked on the window, I immediately requested for my keys. They had that deer in the headlights expression on their faces, and I could literally see the color drain from her face. I also informed her that our relationship was finished and that she should never contact me again. She bursts into tears. When she asked me how she was going to get home, I told her that I would ask the youngster to drop her off, and he just bolted. He did nothing but flee for his life. He even forgot to take his phone out of the car. I drove back to my house, locked the car door, and left her there. My selfish nature prevents me from being the better person and driving her home. Throughout the day, she texted me again, apologizing and pleading for another opportunity. I blocked her and went about my business as normal. I was a little shaken, but I was still able to carry on with my daily activities. At that point, I didn't want to talk to anyone except for my best friend, who was away on his honeymoon at the time, and I didn't want to bother him by expressing my disinterest in the situation. A couple of alcoholic beverages were had before I fell asleep. I woke up at midnight the next morning and read over my bank statements, ultimately opting to shut our joint account, from which she had made a significant withdrawal earlier in the day. To be clear, she did have some money in the account, but I was the only owner of approximately 80% of the funds in it. My phone had been buzzing incessantly throughout the day, so I turned it off while at work. In order to prevent being harassed by coworkers while at work, I had to turn my phone off the entire time it was ringing. She continued to call me from unknown phone numbers, which I didn't recognize. The moment I walked inside my house and turned on my phone for the first time, I was swamped with notifications. She accused me of cheating on her and tagged me in a Facebook post in which she said that I had done so in order to get what she wanted. After that, she went on to accuse me of being emotionally abusive and a two-faced slime, among other accusations. When the post went viral, she received more than 300 likes, which was a huge feat for her at the time. We both went to the same university and have a significant number of mutual contacts, the majority of whom have blocked me on social networking sites like Facebook. Someone created a WhatsApp group in which they swore and cursed at me and referred to me as a vile human being, all in my presence. Obviously, I was shocked and outraged. They were even making memes about me, which I found amusing. She yelled at me and called me a piece of sh*t on the phone. My younger sister is a bully. She confided in me that she feels embarrassed to refer to me as her brother. She informed me that I am following in the footsteps of my father. He left our mother for a woman half his age. My mother got depressed and died a few years later. They never divorced. She refused to listen to my arguments and told me that she had had enough of my ex-husband. While I could cope with the loss of a few acquaintances, my sister is the only member of my family who has survived. This is beyond my comprehension. The only people who have remained strong during this ordeal are my best friend and his wife. We are really good friends, and he does not feel that I am capable of cheating, and he is absolutely correct in his belief. In spite of my family's disbelief, he continued to believe me. At the very least, I'm grateful to have someone. He has cut his honeymoon short and will return this weekend. I have plenty of evidence that she was cheating on me, thanks to the SMS that she sent me. The kid's phone is also in my possession. Although it's locked, it allows me to access notifications via the lock screen. His phone was able to connect to the Wi-Fi at my location. What a pleasant surprise! She had sent him a text message in which she expressed her desire to leave me and marry him. I have no idea how she could have had an affair with a teenager who has the hygiene of a wild pig. I'm not sure what to do with this information. Nobody, not even my sister, is willing to listen. She has ceased all communication with me. How am I supposed to deal with the fact that she has blocked me from everywhere? She has completely wrecked my reputation in my community, which I have worked so hard to establish. I've completely lost all credibility among my peers and friends. Is there a way to make it clear that I, not she, am the one who has been victimized? What can I do to mend my strained connection with my sister? What in the world am I supposed to do? Edit. I appreciate everyone's patience in listening to me out. I never imagined that complete strangers could be so compassionate. You're all genuine treasures. Well, I'd had enough of my sister's nonsense, and went straight to her house to confront her with the proof I'd accumulated. She has apologized profusely, and she has insisted that I remain at her residence until the situation is resolved. I suppose the 5-hour travel was worthwhile because she is an excellent cook. In addition, other events have transpired, and the ex is in a bad way. I'll post an update post the following day. Right now, I'm completely fatigued and all I want to do is sleep. Once again, thank you so much. Story 2. He got his ex pregnant. After nearly 3 years of dating, my current boyfriend, let's call him Jacob, and I decided to be married. We are the parents of 2 children, May 2020 and December 2021. The birth of our daughter in December came as a good surprise to us as we had planned to have a kid in May. The 5 years before our encounter, he had been in a relationship with his ex-girlfriend, let's call her Sandy. Unlike me, they are both 28 years old, whilst I am 23 years old. When I realized Jacob had been cheating on Sandy, as well as many other women, during our relationship, it had already been more than a year after we had started dating. This was occurring even when we were hoping to conceive a child. I was already pregnant at this point, and I thought that he would reconsider his attitude in light of the fact that he already has 2 children with his high school sweetheart, and that I was expecting another. He didn't take any time off. Consider the year 2021, and it is the month of December. We were only a week away from the due date of our child when I discovered that not only was he still cheating on Sandy, but he had also gotten her pregnant, and she would be giving birth to our child in April. I was in a state of shock. He intends to sign away his parental rights and to stay as far away from the child as he possibly can. My days are spent unhappy and teary-eyed for the vast bulk of the time. My eyes are fixed on my baby girl, whom I adore, but all I can think about is her little sister, who will be born in just a few short months. I can't stop thinking about her. I can't seem to get her out of my head. I've tried everything I can to get away from Jacob, but he will not let me go. I'm completely at a loss for what to do or how to get myself back on track. I'm feeling absolutely duped and heartbroken right now. As I type this, I can literally feel the sorrow of his treachery resting hard on my heart. When all I wanted was to maintain the stability of our household, it looked like he didn't place much emphasis on it. More to our relationship than what I've shared here. Emotional and physical abuse, gaslighting, and other forms of psychological manipulation. All I want to do right now is get through this and move on with my life, and nothing else matters. His affection and concern for me are no longer feelings I wish to experience.